And welcome to this evening's CAHN Healthy Hearts program in collaboration with Sahara Nutrition. It's good to see everyone on Facebook and YouTube and on Zoom. We are back again with Healthy Hearts, back to our normal way of doing things. We're back. We will be having this week, we'll be focusing on food and stress. As we all know, this month is Stress Awareness Month. And I know for some of our program, we've been highlighting the importance of looking after our well-being, looking after ourselves and our mental health. And this week in Healthy Hearts will be focused on food and stress. And I believe we have our special doctors on the call, nutritionists and registered dietitians, who will be talking through some of those areas and how to balance our eating, and obviously looking at things like stress eating as well this evening. So throughout today's session, I know we're live streaming to Facebook and YouTube. If you have any questions, feel free to post your questions in the live chat box on Facebook. Feel free to post your live questions on YouTube and on Zoom as well. And I believe my colleagues will answer your call. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Dr. Hiba, who's from Sahara Nutrition. Dr. Hiba has been doing our Healthy Hearts now for some time now, offering different insights to how we can maintain a healthy lifestyle, but also looking at more of our eating habits, and how we can make sure we're eating correctly. So Dr. Hiba, if you're there, I believe you hand over to yourself now.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Elizabeth. So today we're going to have a special guest. She's not really new to Healthy Hearts. I think we've had it 2 or 3 times in the past, just before we started our tailored support. So I'll briefly introduce her. She's a dietitian. She's called Ibitoye, a registered dietitian with the Health and Care Professions Council and a full member of the British Dietetic Association, the BDA. She's currently the new chair of the BDA Freelance Dietitian Specialist Group. And she has over 7 years of experience working within the food and nutrition field, working with the NHS, public health organizations, non-governmental organizations, academia, and research. So we are really honored today to have our guest Ty to talk to us about stress and food. So Ty, if you are here, we would want to hear from you. And please feel free to send your questions as we go along. Yes.
Yes, well, thank you so much for having me. I really do appreciate it. And I hope today's session is very beneficial to you all. So I will be talking about stress and food and nutrition, as said, and I'll be open to answering any questions that you might have along the way. So I'm just going to share my slides quickly. Just bear with me. Hopefully you can all see it.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Yes. Is it all okay? Perfect. Okay, so this evening I will be talking about stress and nutrition. And in terms of the overview of this evening's talk, I'll be talking about what stress is, the effects of stress from a physical and nutritional standpoint, the link between stress and diet, key nutrients that we all need to be mindful of in terms of managing our stress levels, and practical tips and tricks, just in case you do feel stressful and you are wondering what sort of foods you should include in your diet. So first of all, what is stress? Well, stress is the feeling of being overwhelmed or unable to cope with mental or emotional pressure. And I think it's really important to say that being stressed is it's part of our lifestyle, and it's completely normal to feel stressed once in a while. Millions around the UK experience stress, but when it does become damaging or disastrous is when the stress impacts our overall health and well-being, and when we are unable to manage our stress levels. 74% of us have felt so stressed that we have felt unable to cope, according to the Mental Health Foundation. So that's quite a lot of people, actually, in terms of a lot of people coping with stress. So stress is very prevalent here in the UK. What are the causes of stress? So there were different stressors that make us stressed, and it would be all individual. So for some people, work can cause stress. So in terms of maybe unemployment or being made redundant, or maybe your boss is just getting on your nerves and telling you to do all of these things, and that can really cause you to be very stressed. For other people, it might be family issues, so it may be family arguments or resentment or any sort of drama within the family that might cause some sort of stress. Financial problems is also another stressor that can affect people. And now, as we know, with the energy bills rising, I'm sure a lot of people might be feeling very, very stressed right now. Education might make some people feel stressed, health issues might cause stress, and life changes or events might also cause stress as well. So for some people, it might be during pregnancy, they might feel, for pregnant women, they might feel a bit stressed, and maybe even if you're planning a birthday or planning an event or some sort, that might cause you to be very, very stressed. So for stress, it's very individual, and different things causes different people to be stressful. So before I talk about the nutritional side of things, I think it's really important to see the effects of stress and how nutrients and nutrition can affect the effects of stress. So I split it into three things in terms of how stress affects us individually. So from a physical point of view, stress can cause headaches, muscle tensions, increased heart rate, worsening of existing medical conditions. So especially when I see clients who have digestive problems like IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome, or have certain heart conditions, what I do find is that when they are very, very stressed, these conditions become even more worse, and also can increase worsening of symptoms as well. So again, I saw someone quite a few weeks ago, and she had acne, and which was stress related. So when she notices that she's very, very stressed, her acne gets really, really worse. But when she's able to manage the stress and keep it at bay, she notices that her skin becomes clearer. So we know that stress can affect us physically in different ways. It can also cause sleep problems, nausea and dizziness, and even hormone changes, which I will speak about shortly. Mentally.
Sorry, is it all right if you can flick through to the next slide?
Yeah, not moving.
You haven't seen the next slides that you're showing. It's still on the screen.
I have flicked it. Maybe it's just taken some while to. Can you see the effects of stress slides?
No. On the main slide.
Yeah, the title.
Oh no.
If you maybe want to disable sharing your.
Yeah.
Oh no, now it's moving.
Now we can see.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can you see the slide okay?
The effects of stress. Is that the one you're on?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, perfect, brilliant. So I spoke about the physical side of things. I'm going to now talk about the mental effects that stress has on us. So it can cause irritability, loss of focus and concentration, mood swings, feeling tearful, anxiety and depression. And from a nutritional point of view, which what I'll be focusing on in this session, is that stress can affect appetite levels. So for some people, stress can cause people to eat less or eat more. It can also create poor eating habits. So for some people, they tend to make poor eating choices when it comes to their food. So maybe choosing things that are more high in fat, salt, and sugar, just from a comfort point of view. For others, it can lead to restrictive diets, increased alcohol consumption, and nutritional deficiencies. So hopefully you can see my next slide, which is the effects of stress on hormones.
Not yet. Yes, now we can.
So the effects of stress on hormones. So I mentioned earlier on that stress can cause hormone changes. So when we are feeling stressed, all of us, no matter what type of stress it might be, stress will trigger the release of stress hormones from our adrenal glands. So on the right-hand side of the slide, you will see an image of the kidneys, and the adrenal glands is placed on the upper surfaces of each kidney. And the adrenal glands produces hormones such as adrenaline, noradrenaline, and cortisol. And these three hormones initiate responses to help us fight physical changes. It's also known as the fight or flight responses. So this helps us to meet physical challenges that threatens our survival when we are faced with stress. Over time, when we are feeling very, very stressed, the adrenal glands may become overworked. So it's producing all of these hormones and it becomes overworked, and it has a difficult time to produce the right amount of these hormones. So that's why it's really important that we keep our stress levels at bay so that we're not overworking our adrenal glands. And as I mentioned before earlier on, there are key nutrients that play a role in the effects of stress hormones. So what is the link between stress and diet? How does nutrition or diet or foods in general affect stress? Well, I like to say that stress and diet has a bidirectional relationship in a way that nutrition plays a role in managing the physiological changes in our bodies caused by stress, but then stress also affects our diet overall. So we know that key nutrients interact with hormones like cortisol and serotonin, which is the feel-good hormone that affects our moods and mental well-being. And being stressed can affect our appetite levels, eating habits, and food choices. So that's why it's so important that when we are faced in a stressful situation or we are feeling very, very stressed, that we are optimizing our nutrition, eating the right types of foods to help manage our stress levels. So now, as I go along the slides, I will be talking about different food groups, different nutrients that plays an important role in managing our stress levels or can actually exacerbate our stress levels. And caffeine is one of them. So we all know what caffeine is. It's found in coffee, tea, cola, and energy drinks. It acts as a stimulant, which increases the feeling of alertness and counters the effects of fatigue and stress to some degree. So we know that caffeine works short term, but long term, it might have some detrimental effects. Too much caffeine may cause the adverse effects of irritability, stress, and headaches. And caffeine can actually stop us from falling asleep, causing poor sleep quality, which in turn increases stress levels. Some of the practical tips. So we know that with caffeine, some people might drink a lot of tea, a lot of coffee, especially as a pick-me-up to manage their stress levels or give them the energy that they need. But we know that caffeine, drinking too much caffeine can trigger stress even more. So some practical tips is to go for decaf versions of tea and coffee if you are a tea and coffee lover. If you do like tea and coffee and the caffeinated versions, it's really important that you have no more than 4 mugs of coffee a day. So 4 mugs equates to 400 milligrams of caffeine. So it's important that we don't go overboard with our caffeine intake. And for those who are pregnant, it's really important that you have no more than 2 mugs of coffee, which is equivalent to 200 milligrams of caffeine. Where possible, try to avoid drinking caffeinated beverages after 2 p.m. because that will help with sleep quality. And most importantly, stay hydrated throughout the day by drinking plenty of water, sugar-free drinks, and low-fat milk. That can help to alleviate some of your stress levels. Another food group to look at is high-fat, salt, and sugary foods. So there is a lot of research that shows that a diet high in saturated fat, which is quote unquote the bad fats, because if we have too much of it, it can cause negative effects in the body, and sugars is linked with emotional disorders such as chronic stress, anxiety, and depression. And with some people, when they're feeling very, very stressed, they notice that they have a higher rate of cravings for foods that tend to be fatty, salty, and sugary. What we know is that with sugary foods, they can provide a quick release of energy and temporary relief from stress. So just imagine the time you've been feeling very, very stressful and maybe you've reached for a donut or an ice cream. For that moment, you'll feel like, okay, my stress levels have gone away, but it's very, very temporary. And after you've consumed that, you may notice that your stress levels might come back up. Sugar consumption has been linked with increased dopamine levels. So with dopamine helps you to feel good about yourself. It helps you to feel relaxed. So that's why when you are eating foods that tend to be very sugary, you do feel in a relaxed state. You feel that sense of comfort, and that's thanks to the dopamine levels. However, when you are eating foods that are very, very sugary, you will get that quick release of energy, that temporary relief, but then it will soon come crashing down. It will soon come crashing down, and your blood sugar levels will crash, and that will lead to irritability and increased food cravings. So you will notice that your blood sugar levels come crashing down, and you would want to get that quick fix of energy and that quick fix of relief again. So for some people, once they've had that sugary food, they want to have more just to get that feeling again. So in general, we all need to be eating foods that are less in fat, salt, and sugar. And there are some practical tips that we can improvise. So for me personally, I'm not a fan of restricting foods from your diet. So I'm not here to say, stop eating your plantain, stop eating your fried yam, don't eat this, don't eat that. What I do want to say is that you can make healthy swaps without having to neglect your traditional or cultural foods. So instead of frying foods like plantain, chicken, and yam, you can boil them instead, or bake, grill, or use an air fryer. And I've actually used an air fryer to air fry plantain, and literally it tastes as good as actually frying plantain with oil. So that's a tip that you can consider in your diet. You can still eat sweet breads like hardo bread and agege bread if you want to, but it's really important that you're mindful of the portion sizes. So where possible, try to have a thin slice so that you're managing your sugar intake and your fat intake as well. And instead of having evaporated tinned milk, because this type of milk is not only high in calories, but it is also high in sugar and high in fat, similar to full fat milk and milk powders. You can have semi-skimmed milk or skimmed milk, or if you do want evaporated tinned milk, then you can go for the light version instead. So for some packagings, you will see the words light or low fat or low sugar. Try to go for those versions instead. You can still have your favorite soft drinks and malt drinks like Supermalt if you want to, but it's really important to enjoy this in small amounts and less frequently, just so that you're managing your sugar intake, just so that you're managing your fat intake as well. And with some soft drinks, there are diet versions like Diet Coke and Diet Pepsi and Diet 7-Up, but just because they're diet, sometimes they are replaced with sweeteners, and for some people they might find it very, very sugary. And actually, there's some research actually to suggest that when you do drink sweetened beverages, that actually increases your cravings for other sweet things. So it's just being in tune with your body, because you know your body best. But where possible, try to enjoy some of these soft drinks and malt drinks in very, very small quantities. And when it comes to snacks, you can have these snacks, but moderation is key, as I said before. So snacks like your puff puff, salted nuts, plantain crisp, and chin chin, which is basically fried baked dough. You can choose the baked versions instead, so not the fried versions, but you can choose the baked versions instead. And with plantain crisps in particular, some of the plantain crisps are quite high in salt and high in sugar, so you can go for the ones that say the no salt, don't have any salt, or don't have any added sugar. It's all a matter of reading the nutritional labels and making healthier choices. And when it comes to nuts and seeds, going for those that are unsalted as well, just so that you're managing your salt intake. Also consider having healthier snack options like fruits, fruit pots, low-fat yogurt, vegetable sticks, plain popcorn, rice cakes or oat cakes. These are healthy snack options that you can include in your diet. And especially when it comes to stress, because you have increased energy requirements and increased protein requirements as well, it's really important that you are eating regular throughout the day. So choosing healthy snack options in between your meals is very, very important so that you are managing your calorie intake, your salt intake, and your sugar intake too. Alcohol. So for some people, drinking alcohol is a way to cope with stress, and alcohol does have a calming effect on the body at first, but in the long term, alcohol can actually increase the amount of stress. And studies have shown that drinking too much alcohol can lead to complications like addiction, as we know, but it can also affect our general health and well-being. It can also cause sleep problems and irritability, which are some of the side effects of drinking too much alcohol. And it can also produce large amounts of adrenaline. So adrenaline is one of the stress hormones, as I mentioned previously in the slides. So when we drink too much alcohol, our body releases too much adrenaline, and it also affects our blood sugar levels too. So where possible, try to minimize your alcohol intake. And some of the practical tips that you can consider if you do drink alcohol is to drink no more than 14 units a week. So this is the government recommendation that men and women should drink no more than 40 units of alcohol a week. But it's really important not to save up all of your units. So for some people, they think, okay, 40 units, I can have it in a week. Maybe I can have 40 units in one day. No, don't save up all your units. Where possible, try to spread these units across the week. Let your friends and family know that you are trying to cut down so that they can best support you. Don't drink alcohol when you are feeling thirsty. Drink water first, because alcohol, when you do drink alcohol, when you are feeling thirsty, you will notice that it doesn't quench your thirst, and you would probably want to drink more alcohol to quench that thirst. Avoid having salty snacks like crisps and salted nuts, because this can make you feel even more thirstier. Where possible, have non-alcoholic or low alcoholic drinks throughout the evening instead, and always have a glass or bottle of water with you or a jug of water on the table, so you are making a water choice first rather than choosing alcohol. So these are some practical tips that you can consider in your diet if you do drink a lot of alcohol and you tend to drink alcohol as a way to cope with stress. Complex carbohydrates. So we all know what carbohydrates is. It's one of the macronutrients in our diet. So these are food groups that we need in large amounts. And carbohydrates are an excellent source of energy and fuel to sustain us throughout the day. There are two types of carbohydrates. So there's the complex carbohydrates and there's the refined carbohydrates. The complex carbohydrates are very, very important in stress management because it helps to enhance levels of serotonin. So serotonin is known as the feel-good hormone or the mood-boosting hormones. And increasing the levels of serotonin can help you feel more happy and more relaxed. Low levels of serotonin in the body has been linked to stress states, anxiety, and depression, as well as poor sleep quality. Complex carbohydrates are more digested compared to refined or processed versions of carbohydrates, which helps to stabilize blood sugar levels. Examples of complex carbohydrates include wholemeal bread, ofada rice, brown rice, wild rice, whole wheat pasta, high fiber breakfast cereals like bran flakes, Weetabix, porridge oats. Vegetables are also a complex carbohydrate, fruits and legumes. These are some examples of complex carbohydrates that you need to include in your diet. And I mentioned refined carbohydrates. So Refined carbohydrates are carbohydrates like white rice, white bread, some sugary foods like donuts, biscuits. These are examples of refined carbohydrates. And it's not to say that, you should avoid having refined carbohydrates, but when it comes to managing stress levels, complex carbohydrates are more superior than refined carbohydrates. And then we have B vitamins. So B vitamins are a type of vitamin, and there are actually about 8 B vitamins. So I won't go through them all, but all B vitamins are very, very important in our diet in managing stress levels. The reason why it's really important is because B vitamins act as an important substance, or known as cofactor, in creating and regulating dopamine and serotonin neurotransmitters. So I mentioned dopamine and serotonin are known as the feel-good hormone. These are the hormones that makes us feel relaxed, makes us feel happy, makes us lower our stress levels. And B vitamins plays an important role in creating these neurotransmitters. So both of these neurotransmitters are implicated in regulating mood. And you can find B vitamins in a wide range of foods such as bananas, plantain, leafy greens like spinach, kale, nuts and seeds, so seeds like melon seeds or egusi seeds, chia seeds as well are a good source of B vitamins, lean red meat, fish and dairy products. And so all of these foods help to provide the body with energy after a period of stress. So where possible, try to implement some of these foods in your diet. And just talking a bit more about B vitamins, so I've mentioned that B vitamins plays a role in neurotransmitters and creating things like dopamine and serotonin. And this is backed with research. So research has shown that B vitamins plays a role in lowering chronic stress. So there was a research by Swinburne University in 2014 that showed that chronic stress depletes levels of vitamin B6 in the body. So again, B vitamins and stress have a bidirectional relationship, so one affects the other. And the study also showed that a 20% reduction in work-related stress in those consuming high levels of B vitamins. So those who had high or a good intake of B vitamins had lower levels of work-related stress. In 2004, there was a study published in the British Medical Journal which found that folate, also known as vitamin B9, can improve mood. And a review study by Swansea University in 2013 showed that B vitamins may be effective in improving mood states. So again, including foods that contain good sources of B vitamins is very beneficial in helping to manage stress levels. Vitamin C. So vitamin C is found in a wide range of fruits and vegetables. It's recommended that we have about 40 milligrams of vitamin C a day. And vitamin C deficiency has been associated with stress-related disorders. Vitamin C is stored in the adrenal gland and is required to make cortisol, which is known as the stress hormone. It helps your body deal with stressful situations as your brain triggers its release through the sympathetic nervous system, which is also known as the fight or flight system, in response to many different kinds of stresses. So including vitamin C rich foods in your diet is very, very important to help manage stress levels and help you cope with stressful situations. Examples of vitamin C rich foods are things like citrus fruits. So you can find citrus fruits all everywhere in supermarkets, really. You can find citrus fruits like oranges, apples, pears, pineapples. Peppers are also a good source of vitamin C. Strawberries, blackcurrant, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, potatoes, okra, spinach and callaloo, and lettuce are all good sources of vitamin C. And this reinforces the importance of eating plenty of fruits and vegetables. So it's recommended that we eat at least 5 portions of fruits and vegetables a day, not just from a stress management point of view, but then fruits and vegetables, as we know, contains a wide range of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, which helps to promote good overall physical well-being and also mental well-being as well. Magnesium is a very, very important mineral that we all need to pay special attention to when it comes to coping with stress. So low magnesium status or low levels of magnesium in the body has been highly associated with stress levels. Magnesium helps regulate the release of stress hormones like cortisol in the body, acting like a brake on your body's nervous system. Magnesium can also help to relax muscles and reduce anxiety, while also playing a very important role in hormone and energy production. So where possible, including plenty of magnesium-rich foods in your diet can help to reduce stress levels. Magnesium is found in a wide range of foods like spinach, nuts, wholemeal bread, pumpkin, chia, and egusi seeds, wheat-based breakfast cereals like Weetabix, bran flakes, shredded wheat, also beans and pulses like red kidney beans, black-eyed peas, gongo peas, chickpeas, and lentils. These all contain good sources of magnesium. Then we have omega-3 fatty acids, which is a very important nutrient that we all need to pay very attention to. So omega-3 fatty acids are vital nutrients which helps the body to function effectively, particularly in the brain. There is some evidence to suggest that omega-3 fatty acids may help to moderate the physiological and the psychological stress that we may encounter. And this is because they lower the release of hormones from the adrenal glands under stressful conditions. So to ensure that you are getting the right amount of omega-3 fatty acids in your diet, it's really important that you are including food sources like oily fish, nuts, and seeds. And the recommendation is that we, as a general public, should eat at least 2 portions of fish a week, one being an oily fish. So oily fish like salmon, mackerel, sardines, and pilchards, these are good sources of omega-3 fatty acids. If you don't eat fish, not to worry, you can still get your omega-3 fatty acids by including nuts and seeds in your diet. So nuts like walnuts, Brazil nuts, almonds are good sources of omega-3 fatty acids. Or you can add seeds in your diet like flax seeds, chia seeds, egusi seeds, pumpkin seeds. These are great sources of omega-3 fatty acids. There has been some questions previously when I have spoken about omega-3 on whether people should take omega-3 supplements if they don't eat fish, they don't eat nuts, and they don't eat seeds. So the current recommendation is not to take an omega-3 supplement. It's not recommended by the general population because the benefits of omega-3 supplements is very inconclusive. So we can't tell people that they should be taking these supplements. But if you are considering taking the supplements, you should choose omega-3 anyway, rather than fish liver oil supplements. And if you are pregnant, it's really important that you are reading the label because some of these supplements have high doses of vitamin A, and having a high dose of vitamin A during pregnancy is very, very dangerous. And of course, don't take it if you are planning to become pregnant. But, where possible, try to include nuts and seeds in your diet. And actually, in terms of the food companies, they are making omega-3 enriched foods or fortified foods with omega-3. So things like breads now contain omega-3 fatty acids. So if you next go to go to Tesco's or go to Asda, read the labels because you might see that it has been fortified with omega-3 fatty acids. And the ones in particular are the seeded breads. So like the Hovis breads that has the nuts and seeds. Most likely it will contain omega-3 fatty acids. Some soya products contains omega-3 fatty acids like soya beans, soya milk, and tofu. And some vegetable oils as well contain omega-3, so things like rapeseed oil and linseed oil. So if you don't eat fish, if you don't eat nuts, and if you don't eat seeds, these are some other choices that you can make. So I spoke about certain food groups and certain nutrients that plays a role in stress management, and I can go on and on and on because there was so much evidence to suggest different nutrients plays a role in stress. But because I have 1 hour, I can't really go into too much details. But essentially, a healthy, balanced diet plays an important role in stress management. And in the screen here, hopefully you can see the screen that I'm sharing. It's the African and Caribbean Eat Well Guide, which has been produced by the Diverse Nutrition Association. And basically it shows you the proportion of foods that we should all be including in our diet if we consume an African or Caribbean diet, or if it's influenced by African or Caribbean origins, which is similar to the General Eat Well Guide. So, and has the same principles. So making sure that you're eating at least 5 portions of fruits and vegetables a day, just because we know that it contains vitamin C and important nutrients and minerals which can help with stress management. It's really important that when you are having your meal, that you're basing your meal with carbohydrate sources, and where possible, try to go for the complex carbohydrate sources. So things like wholemeal bread, wholemeal pasta, brown rice, couscous, lentils. These are sources of complex carbohydrates. Make sure that you are prioritizing your protein. So making sure that you're eating that fish, eating the beans, eating the lentils, just so that you can manage your stress levels and that you can also have a healthy, balanced diet. And also, where possible, try to include dairy or dairy alternatives in your diet as well. And on the left-hand side of the Eat Well guide at the bottom, you will see some foods that tend to be high in fat, salt, and sugar. And these are foods that we should be eating less of, and something that I mentioned earlier on in the presentation slides. So we should be eating less of fried doughs like puff dumplings or festivals. We should be consuming less chocolates, less sugary snacks like donuts, ice cream, plantain crisps, malt beverages, and just so that we can control our sugar, salt, and fat intake, because consuming too much of this will exacerbate our stress levels. And while diet is very, very important in terms of managing stress level, and it's actually the cornerstone of stress prevention, it's equally important that we don't forget regular physical activity. So I know that later on, there's a physical activity exercise that we will all be doing. Regular physical activity has been shown to help relieve stress levels. So yeah, don't forget regular physical activity. It's recommended that we do at least 30 minutes of moderate physical activity over 5 days a week. It's important that you find healthy coping mechanisms to deal with stress. So if you are faced with a very, very stressful situation, identify what the triggers are and find ways that you can manage that stress. So for some people, it's meditation. For some people, it's journaling or going for a walk, and find what suits you and find what helps you to relieve your stress levels. Or you can talk to a trusted friend, relative, or a healthcare professional to help you navigate through your stressful situation and manage your stress levels too. So that is it from me, and I am open to any questions that you might have.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ty. That was really thorough and insightful. Even for me as a nutritionist, I've learned a number of things that, you know, I wasn't aware of. Thank you so much. I saw one question in the chat box, and someone says, what about herbal tea? I think this is where you were talking about the links between caffeine, coffee, and stress. So the person wants to know about herbal tea, and then afterwards we can take some questions.
Yeah, so herbal tea is fine as long as it's decaffeinated. For some people, they notice that when they drink certain herbal teas like peppermint tea or chamomile tea, it helps to manage their stress levels or any feelings of anxiety. And while there isn't much evidence to support the use of herbal teas in managing stress levels, from a comfort point of view, we know that this can be beneficial for some people, but not everyone. But herbal teas has a place, but it's really important that you're making sure that it doesn't contain caffeine, because if you do drink a lot of herbal teas, then you will most likely be drinking a lot of caffeine as well.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much. So Kiki has her hand up.
Hey. Hello, good evening. Thank you very much, Ty, for such a wonderful presentation. You just put it all together. Sorry, I asked a question about the tea, and that's clarified now. So, what I really wanted to get, because most of the times we, like as Africans, and we having the CAHN doing this really good job targeting Africans with all this nutrition, because our foods are different from other people. When you were talking about complex carbohydrates, which is really what we depend on as Africans, especially West Africa, we eat a lot of that. And my dear sister Hiba will say, I'll talk about the portion side. But what would you advise? How often do we eat those things? Because like very recently, just a few minutes ago, as you were talking, I was frying plantain. And when I started frying it, as I was slicing the fry, and you said, instead of this, boil. So I just stopped one. I fried the one, and the other one, I put it in the pot to boil. So how does that relate to you? Because I'm just thinking about stress levels. Yes. And how does the complex carbohydrates relax or gives us the comfort, because we are eating for comfort sometimes. How does that how do we what's the word now?
How does it look in practice?
Yes, thank you very much. In our managing the stress. Thank you. That's the word. That's the word I was looking for, the impact.
Sure. I could definitely answer that. So when it comes to our diet in general, it's really important that we are having a healthy, balanced diet. And as well as having important foods to include in our diet, it's really important that we're aware of the portion sizes. So when it comes to carbohydrates in general, we need to have between 3 to 4 portions per day of carbohydrates. And you might be thinking, okay, so what does one portion look like? So I'll give a few tips, and I'll probably send more information to CAHN, and they'll probably distribute the information. But one portion, as an example, so one medium slice of bread is one portion of carbohydrate. That's an example. 2 to 3 tablespoons of pasta is another portion. So that's about 150 grams of pasta, which is basically a small bowl of pasta. That's about one portion of carbohydrate. A small bowl of rice is also one portion. And also 2 to 3 small potatoes is another portion. So I mentioned that it's really important that we have between 3 to 4 portions of carbohydrates a day. And I gave some example in terms of what one portion looks like. A small bowl of porridge is one portion of carbohydrate. And so where possible, when we are eating our meals for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it's really important that we are including at least one portion of carbohydrate source in our meals. So for breakfast, for example, you can have a small bowl of porridge. Okay, that's one portion of your carbohydrate. Then in lunchtime, you might have a small bowl of rice. That's 2 portions so far. Then for dinner, you might have a small bowl of pasta. That's 3 portions. So already you're having 3 portions of carbohydrate, which we all need a day. Where some people, I guess, I don't want to say lose it, but I guess go overboard, is when they are serving themselves. So for some people, when they're serving themselves a bowl of rice, they might go overboard and, put a large bowl of rice in front of them. So it's really important that we are aware of the quantity of each carbohydrate that we are consuming. Hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
It does. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, and this is one of the things we keep emphasizing here on Healthy Hearts, because the problem with us is our portion sizes. So Ty, you described it really easily: 2 to 3 small potatoes and 3 spoons of pasta. The average African or Caribbean person usually would have like 2 or 3 times what you're talking about as
Yes.
one portion. So really, we need to work hard on our portion sizes.
Absolutely.
Right. There's another question that says, is water yam a good complex carbohydrate?
Water yam?
Yeah.
Yes, so it is. It also depends on how you actually prepare the carbohydrate as well, or to prepare the yam. So if you do boil it, then it's a good source of complex carbohydrate. But if you fry it, then you are, I guess, manipulating the composition of the food. So it will tend to be more high in fat than high in starchy carbohydrate or complex carbohydrates, if that makes sense. So having it boiled or baked is a good source of complex carbohydrate.
So the method of preparation also counts. So you could be having
Yes.
whole grains or complex carbohydrates, but the way you prepare it also counts a lot. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Do we have any more questions? Otherwise, I would want to ask this myself. So, you know, the way when we talk about hypertension, you know, people talk about the DASH diet, you know, and then people also recommend the Mediterranean diet. But what you've just presented, am I right to think that it's just a promotion of a healthy diet? You know, there's no emphasis like on a special, you know, particular diet like you have with hypertension when it comes to stress.
Yes, and I really like that question because there's a lot of focus on the Mediterranean diet and the DASH diet and this diet and that diet. And, you know, whilst it's backed by so much scientific evidence and there's a lot of evidence supporting the benefits of these diets, what it does is it neglects people's traditional diets or cultural diets, what they typically consume. So not everyone likes olives, for example. Not everyone likes quinoa, for example. So it's seeing what your current diet is and how you can manipulate your current food sources or maybe your cooking methods to make sure that you are making healthier choices. So a simple thing like if you include stock cubes in your food, obviously we know that stock cubes are very, very high in salt. And if you do consume a lot of it, it can cause hypertension. But then if you reduce the amount of stock cubes that you have in your diet, or you use fresh herbs and spices in your meals, then that alone is beneficial in reducing hypertension. So it's just seeing what you currently eat. You don't need to make big changes in your diet. You don't need to include all of these novel food groups that you're not really familiar with. It's looking at your current diet and seeing what changes you can make in terms of cooking methods, portion sizes, and that way you can actually have a healthy, balanced diet. So I like to tell people that it's not about changing your diet completely. It's looking at your cooking methods, looking at what things you can add in your diet to complement your current diet. So whether it might be a thing of eating more fruits and vegetables in your current diet, that might be something that you need to do. Maybe it might be using olive oil instead of palm oil, you know, so you don't need to make drastic changes in your diet.
Thank you. Thank you. Ngozi has her hand up.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Just to ask, based on the cubes, the seasoning like Knorr and Maggi that we put in the food, and you said it has a high salt content. So I know we can reduce it, but if we don't use it at all, what else can we use to supplement that? Because that makes the food taste really good. Yeah.
No, it does. It really does. So I guess it would be quite interesting to put things in context quickly. So the current recommendation is that we should have no more than 6 grams of salt a day. So 6 grams is equivalent to 1 teaspoon. And with Maggi cubes, it contains almost 3 grams of salt. So that's just 1 Maggi cube. So already, if we include that in our meal, we're meeting half of the salt recommendation. And for some people, 1 is not enough. They might use 2 or 3. And already you're exceeding your salt intake. So if you do include things like Maggi, or maybe you don't, other things that you might want to include is Noah cubes. So with Noah cubes, actually they have the low salt versions now in stores. So there's the low sodium or low salt version, so you can include that instead. Or you can include fresh herbs and spices, so things like cayenne peppers, paprika, turmeric, things like ginger, garlic. These are fresh herbs and spices that you can include in your diet to make it more flavoursome. You can include herbs like basil, rosemary, thyme, coriander to make your meal more flavoursome. Or if you have time in the kitchen, you can make your own stock. So for some people, they like to boil chicken bones or fish bones with water, and that can, so for example, if you're boiling chicken to roast it, the water left over in the chicken that you made from the chicken, you can use it to make your own stock and you can include that in your dishes. So that's a nice way to make your food more flavoursome.
Right, thank you.
Hopefully that answers your question.
Yes, thank you.
Sure, it does. Thank you. Thank you so much for the tips. You mentioned light evaporated tin milk. I'm a lover of tin milk. I still can't stop taking my tin milk from Ghana, but I haven't come across this one. So we can get this in the shops, the light evaporated tin milk.
Yes. So
African Indian shops.
Yeah, 100%. You can get it in African shops and even supermarkets. So if you look in the Whole Food section and the World Food section, they'll most likely will have it, like Sainsbury's, Waitrose, they'll probably have it. So Nestle Carination tin milk have the light evaporated version. So it's just literally looking at the label and looking at where it says light or low in sugar or low in fat. So it's choosing those ones instead.
Right. Okay, and our 1 hour is up already. Thank you so much, Ty. That was really, really insightful. I guess the take home for me is, the emphasis on moderation. You don't have to give up on all the foods you love. It's just making very little changes, like we talk about all the time. What methods are you using in cooking? If you're frying all the time, you want to change that to a bit of boiling or grilling and stuffs like that. Our time is up, so we would like to say thank you so much, Ty. We really enjoyed your presentation, and we do hope to have you again now that we've started these sessions. Yes, people are asking for slides, so Ty is going to send something, to CAHN, and then people can have access to the information. Yes, indeed. So thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Yes, on the WhatsApp group. Okay, yes, when she sends it to CAHN, we'll share it on the WhatsApp group as well. Thank you so much. Yes, so Ty, people are saying thank you so much for a brilliant presentation. We look forward to having you again soon. Thank you very much. And thank you all for joining. I hope you'd stay on for our physical activity session. Thank you. Elizabeth.
Thank you so much for that, Dr. Hiba and Ty. It's good to have you. Thank you for coming, Ty. I believe we've all learnt more about food and stress and the correlation of how they both come into play. So, it's really important that we look after ourselves, our well-being, and making sure we're not stress eating. For the slides, I believe Ty is still on the call. If you would like access to the slides that Ty shared this evening, simply just email us at events@cahn.org.uk. I believe my colleagues will put that email address in the chat box. And Ty as well, if you just share a copy of the slides as well, because what we find is people always have questions and just want to, for some of the points you mentioned there, they can have a look back. This event is, our Healthy Hearts every week will be streamed to Facebook and YouTube. So if you feel you've missed out, for those that have just joined and you feel you've missed out at the beginning, and if you'd like to share this link as well with your family, friends, so that they can also benefit from what you have learned this evening, please always just go back to our CAHN YouTube and CAHN Facebook page. My colleagues will also post those links in the chat box as well, so you can always go back. The second half of our Healthy Hearts, we're always encouraging for us to get out of our seats, get out of our chairs, and just do some physical activity just for 30 minutes. I believe from the whole of March, we did different boxercise sessions, and that is led by our physical instructor, Orlando Grant. And this evening, I believe he'll be talking through what to expect for the month of April, and what to expect for the next few sessions. But please do engage. Please do have a water bottle at the ready. I've got mine here ready. Just create some space If you're in your living room, wherever you are, just create some space. And remember that if you don't participate for this evening, not to worry, our session is live streamed. It is on Facebook and YouTube. You can always go back and work out with your family, your friends, again, in the comfort of your own home. So we're really trying to encourage that engagement, that interaction with you all. And without further ado, we just hand over to Orlando. Orlando, if you're there, just give us a thumbs up. Yeah, good to see you, Orlando. I hope you're well.
Hey, how's it going? Thank you, Elizabeth. And thank you, Ty and Dr. Hibber, for that amazing seminar. It was amazing. Right, so people, tonight we have a circuit class. All right, it's going to be very ab and core focused today. All you're going to need today is a mat, because we're going to hit the floor straight away. Plenty of water, and like I said last week, a week before, if you got anything heavy like a kettlebell or a dumbbell or a big bottle of water, you can bring that in today as well. All right, so like we normally do, let's start the session off with a warm-up. Let's get the blood pumping, let's get the lungs firing, and let's go, guys. Let me get these tunes on. So find the space, people. We're going to start off with a 30-second jog on the spot, okay? Get this tuned up. All right, get to your spaces, people. Let's get this show on the road. 3, 2, 1. Let's start with a jog on the spot. Let's go. That's 15 seconds, people. Keep that going. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Lunge and twist. Let's go. Twist both sides. Change legs. Seconds. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Star jump. Let's go. Let's get that heart rate up. Ready for work. Ready for action. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Okay, take 15 seconds. Get a quick sip of water if you need it. Okay, get ready. Going back into the warm-up. We're going to start this time with star jump to the front. In 3, 2, 1, go. That's it, people. Keep that going. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now let's go squat and twist. So we're down, twist both sides. Ten seconds. 1, last one, jog on the spot. Last 30 seconds. Ten seconds. 3, 2, people. 30-second break, and then we're going to go into circuit number 1.
Orlando, are you still there? Can everyone still see Orlando?
No.
No.
No, I can't see him.
Okay, maybe he's going to retry. Angela, if you could just give him a bell just to let him know to retry joining in. In the meantime, while we're just sorting out that technical issue there, sorry, when you're online, sometimes these things happen. But let's still not lose our adrenaline, let's not lose focus, still, just keep moving. I believe he will join back. But just as this opportunity, as we're sorting that out, just quickly plug in some events as well that's coming up that we'd really love for you all to be a part of. Like I mentioned earlier on, this month is Stress Awareness Month. And here at CAHN, we're really trying to nail down and focus on, how we can look after our well-being and looking after our mental health. So just for those, I believe my colleagues will post, we have our CATIP Health Hour on Saturday. And this week will be focused on, I believe, I have the flyer here.
Psychosis?
Schizophrenia and psychosis in Black and mixed heritage people, yes. And I'll be joined by Professor Dawn Edge and Dr. Shibulade Smith. So please do tune in for that. That's on this coming Saturday at 11 o'clock to 12:15. So if you'd like the flyer, the registration link, my colleagues will post that in the chat box. Please do register this evening. We'd love to have as many of you there as possible. And then we also have, some other different community events going on, but we'll post the different flyers in the chat box. Register on, get involved, and we'd love to see you all there. And then obviously throughout the week, if by any chance you need any support, our helpline is always available. So please do contact us. And I believe one of my colleagues will be there on support. I believe Orlando's joined back now. So if we get our water bottles at the ready, our space is at the ready, and I believe Orlando will take us through. Over to you, Orlando.
Hi, I'm back, everyone. I think the internet cut me out for some reason. Maybe it's a hot time for people, like everyone's getting home from work and jumping on the internet, so it might shorten the line. Anyway, so like I was saying, first two moves. First move, you need your mat. We've got toe touches. All right, so on our thumbs, on our backs, legs high in the air, arms to our legs, and we're sliding up our shins. Sliding up our shins, trying to get as high as we can. All right, keeping the abs and the core engaged throughout. From there, we've got hip rockers. So hands down by your side, feet up, and we're going hips side to side. All right, again, keep those abs engaged, really rock those hips, get that knee as close to the ground as you can, and then rotate. All right, so toe touches to hip rockers, 60 seconds a piece. Let's go, guys, let's get these tunes up. Down to your mats, get ready, people. We're going in 3, 2, 1, let's go. Keep that going, people. Last 20 seconds. Keep that going. Last 10 seconds. Three, 2, 1. Okay, give yourself 15 seconds. Let those abs calm down a little bit. Hip rockers coming up next. All right, get yourself ready. We're going in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. I said people side to side. Keep those feet off the ground. Yes. That's halfway. Keep it going. Last 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Okay, to your feet. 15 seconds break. All right, get rid of your mats for now. All right, listen in while you have a quick rest. So if you've got a dumbbell or kettlebell or anything heavy, you can bring that in now. So move number 3, we've got kettlebell swings, American style. We're going over the head. So we're here, you got your kettlebell or your imaginary kettlebell, and we're going to swing from the hips and get our arms right above the head. All right, all the power is coming from the hamstrings, the glutes, okay, the lower back. So really thrust forward, like so. Make sure you finish above the head. After that, we got wood chops. So again, with your kettlebell, dumbbell, we're gonna go here, up, nice and high, in a diagonal motion. All right, so we're here, bend, there. All right, and then we're gonna go this side, there,
sorry,
up there.
I'm not sure about that.
All right, so kettlebell swings to wood choppers. Get ready, back to your spaces. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Kettlebell swings, go. Let's go, nice and strong. If you're not using a weight, really try and replicate, okay? Pretend you've got something really heavy in those hands. Really thrust forward. Trick your body into thinking. Halfway, keep it going. Last 20 seconds. In. So wood choppers next. Start on either side. Get ready. 3, 2, 1, go. Really rotate that body, okay? Get that core involved. Let's go. Keep it going. Keep it going. 10 seconds on that side. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Let's go the other side now. Let's go. Keep working, people. 10 seconds. 30-second break. So give yourself a well-deserved 30 seconds, and then we're going to go into circuit number 2. So bring your mats back in. Ten seconds. All right, people, back in listening, guys. All right, so to start off with, move number 1 and 2, we've got another rotational ab exercise. All right, so we're here. We've got a full sit-up. So we're going to go down. As we come up, we're going to twist. All right, back down. Alternate sides. All right, really twist with those abs. All right, turn that torso. From there, we've got legs up, folded. All right, we're going here, opposites. So elbow to opposite knee. All right, keep your legs where they are. All right, we're not doing bicycles. That one's called bicycles. Keep these here. And you're going to bring the elbow to the opposite knee. Straighten out, up, twist, opposite knee. All right, let's go. So full sit-up to the twist, and then we go crunches with a twist. Let's get ready, people. Move number 1 coming up. Get ready. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Give me a hard 60 seconds. Let's go. Let's go, people. Halfway, keep that going. Last 15 seconds. Keep at it, keep at it. Two, 1. Okay, give yourself 15 seconds break. Let those abs settle down. So crunches with a twist next. Okay, get ready. 3, 2, 1. Let's get busy. Halfway. Let's go, keep it going, keep it going. Go. Seconds. Three, 2, 1, time and rest. Keep the mats where they are. All right, move number 3 and 4. So we've got leg raises to flutter kicks, small flutter kicks. All right, so hands under your bum for support. Legs here. We've got down for 1, left, right. Okay, so down here straight, left, right. All right, Try and catch your heels before they hit the floor. All right, if your heels hit the floor, it doesn't count. So straight, left, right, or straight, right, left. It's up to you. All right. From there, we've got flutter kicks. So we're here, we're down back, legs in the air, small flutter kicks. Okay, not big ones, nice and tight there. All right, let's get ready, people. Move number 3 or 4. Let's start with leg raises in 3, 2, 1. Let's go, leg raises. Keep that going. Last 20 seconds. Only 10 seconds now, people. Only 10 seconds. That's it. Last move coming up. Get ready. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Flutter kicks. That's it, people. Nice small kicks. That's it. Keep that going. Keep that going. Halfway. Last 30 seconds. Last 10. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. And time, people. Back to your corners. Get some water. You can put your mats away. Alright, we're going to give the abs a little break now, so don't worry. We're giving the abs a break. Alright, so we've got our endurance round now. Endurance round. So first move, we've got 3 sets. Alright, 20 seconds apiece each leg. So we've got pulse lunges here. And then from there, we've got 5. And then back kick there, back down. 5, back kick there. Okay, we're going 20 seconds each leg, and we've got 3 total sets. All right, that's your first endurance move, people. Let's go. Let's finish strong now. Come on. You can start on either side. It's up to you. Let's get ready. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Okay, change sides. That's it, keep it going. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Shake those side legs off. One down, 2 to go. Okay, back to the side you first started on. Get ready. Here, I think it was here. Get ready. 3, 2, 1, go. Get ready. Keep it going. 2, 1. Change sides. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. I'm ready. Shake those legs off. One more to go. All right, back to the side you started with. Last one here for this round. Get ready. 3, 2, 1, go. Three, 2, 1. Change sides. Straight in. Let's go. Keep that going. 3, 2, 1. And rest. 30 seconds. Last move coming up. Right, do dips. So last move, people. We're going to hit the triceps, the back of the arms, the muscle people call bingo wings. I should have said at the start, if you've got a chair or a couch to use, that's perfect. All right, so what we're going to do here. Arms on the couch, all right, fingers dangling. So you go legs bent or legs straight. All right, legs straight's a little bit harder. So you're going to bend those elbows and push. All right, bend those elbows and push. To finish off, we've got 2 sets of 30 seconds. All right, if you need to break, have a break whenever you want to shake those arms off, do so, and then go straight back in. All right, last move, people, 2 sets of 30 seconds. When you're ready, let's go. Let's finish strong now. Let's work on those bingo wings. Get ready. 3, 2, 1, go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Let's go, people. Work them out now. Come on. Keep it going. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And time. Needs to be a bit more. It's too high there. You all right there? Hold there. Alright, last one coming up, people. Last one coming up. Get ready. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Tricep dips. People. 3, 2, 1, and time. Give yourself a quick 15-second water break, and then we'll stretch off, people. Well done. All right, people, when you're ready, back to your spaces. Pull the body down. Let's stretch the body off. Let's start off with high knees in space. Let's go. So here, arms above the head, step one side at a time. Nice and light. Next side to side. The shoulder, reach across. Make yourself nice and tall, feet together. Try and touch the roof. Really try and stretch that spine. Make yourself as tall as possible. Raise those shoulders nice and high. Okay, hip rotations, legs apart. Change direction. Front to back. Okay, legs apart. Turn your toes slightly outwards. All right, drop into a squat nice and slow and hold. Okay, if you can, elbows in your knees and push those legs out. Woo! That's so. Hand up, nice and slow. All right, legs together. Try and touch your toes or the floor. Now crawl out to the top end of a press up position. Let's hold there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, crawl back up into your stretch. Last one, people. Knees together, bring your heel to your bum to get to those quads. Shake it off, and last leg. Let's go heels to bum. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, shake all those body parts off. And that's time, people. Well done. Top session tonight. Circuits. Back to you, Elizabeth. Are you there?
Thank you so much for that, Orlando. How did everyone find this evening's session? Just feel free to use the chat box to type in how you found the session. You know, did you find it intense? Did you find it fairly easy? We want to find out from you. We want to hear your feedback. So feel free to use the chat box to type in how you found this evening session. We want to hear from you. And feel free to unmute yourself. We'd love to hear from some of you that have taken part this evening. I mean, Orlando, how did you find this evening's session?
It was actually a really tough one tonight. because there's lots of ab focus. It was ab focus. So when you do a lot of abs, it's always a hard one. And then we mixed in a lot of leg work as well. So I think it was quite tough. What about everyone at home?
Yes, believe, just feel free to type in the chat box. So a few people saying
it was quite tough. I took part.
Good.
Thank you.
You'll definitely feel that one tomorrow. Definitely.
Yeah, I know. Thank you.
Great. So Orlando, do you just want to let people know what to expect for the month of April in terms of the physical activity session?
Yeah. So we've got one more week left of circuits. So circuit training. So next week will be a full body circuit. And then from there, we're going straight back into boxercise. All right. Which is good, which is one of the best ways to beat stress. So it kind of correlates with your session you had previously. Okay. So boxercise, one more week of circuits, and it's boxercise. All right. We're going to learn some combos, learn how to defend ourselves, and get fit in the process.
Great. So thank you so much for that, Orlando. Thank you so much again to Ty and Dr. Hibber for leading today's the seminar discussion on food and stress. Please remember today's Healthy Hearts has been recorded, and you can always go back onto the CAHN YouTube and Facebook page to watch today's session. If you have any questions throughout the week, need any form of support, our helpline is always available, and I believe my colleagues will type and post our service flyers in the chat with the different links. Don't forget to tune into our CATIP Health Hour this Saturday from 11 to 12:15. Again, if you'd love to register for that, just feel free. We have the register link as well posted in the Facebook and the YouTube live chats and on Zoom as well. So feel free to register onto that. But we have so many different, workshops coming up, and I believe we'll post those relevant links. Try to get involved as much as you can. And remember, next week, we're back the same time. Healthy Hearts now is 6 o'clock to 7:30 p.m. So that starts at 6, ends at 7:30 every Tuesday. So please do try to get involved. Please do send in your questions, and we'd love to hear from you. Thank you once again, Orlando and Dr. Hibbert and Ty, and we hope everyone has a lovely week, remaining of the week.
Well done, everybody. Have a great evening. Peace out. I'll see you all next week.